Welcome back to the podcast, whose last guests were Lionel Pritchard and the Wolfington Brothers. Welcome back to the best part of your week. Welcome back to another episode of Love, Death, and Movies podcast, Internet's #1 film and breakdown and review show. The show that crushes watch lists week after week. Every month is a different genre. Every week is a different film in that genre. So follow us and everything genres of the ride. Let's watch the movies. In one breath. Oh my god! I did that perfectly, Ash. And then in my notes, I have intro Ash, and I was about to just read out intro Ash. With me is, of course, each and every week, Pride of the West Coast, Ash. Ash versus movies. Ash, how are you?
I'm great, and no worries. I've done that many times. So.
I was doing so well. And welcome to finally one of our most requested guests of all time. One of the kings of Movietok and the last member. I was about to say the last living member of Real Talk, but last member of Real Talk that we haven't had on yet. The best beard in Movietok film. Movietok. Seth Film Reviews. Seth, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me on. That was a really good intro,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank
That
you.
was I'm quite impressed by that.
Appreciate it, because I'm
Way
doing
better than
this
ours.
at 8 a.m. after the first AFL game of the season. And AFL is
Impressive.
the biggest sport in the nation, and
Yeah, of course.
last night was large, so I'm very impressed by myself as well, Seth.
No. I really enjoyed listening to that. It was great. Really good stuff. But no,
Awesome.
good to be on.
Hell
Good
yeah.
to be on. Really good.
Well, yeah, we're continuing our month of M.Night, so each week for the month of March, we're doing M.Night films. So last week we did The Visit, this week we're doing Signs, of course. Next week is The Village, and then we're finishing off with Trap, because Trap fucking rules.
No Unbreakable?
Yeah, well, we might have to do another month. We
Wow.
might have to do another month.
Gotta do Unbreakable.
I had to petition to
Do
get this month
Unbreakable.
over the line with Ash for months, Seth.
No, you didn't.
Months.
You've
Like,
gotta do Unbreakable.
unbreakable
Unbreakable's
rules.
so good.
Unbreakable
So
does
good.
rule.
I feel like it'd
Maybe.
be nice to do all three, honestly. You could do probably all three of those movies in like a
Yeah, if you're gonna do like
Because you can't just do
Unbreakable.
Split.
Yeah, you kind of have to do like glass as well at the end, just like to cover it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
exactly.
then I'm trying to think. Oh, you should do Knock at the Cabin as well.
Yep. Yeah, there's so
I
much you could
love
do
Knock at the
here.
Cabin.
Oh, man, he rules. I'd love to do
Yeah.
The Happening as well. Well, I would love to bring
Oh, that
on.
happened.
We've got a guest on for Trap, but I'd love to bring on. There's a bunch of people on TikTok that love The Happening, and I kind of want to bring one of them on just to get their opinion, because I don't love The Happening, but I would love to love The Happening. You know?
Yeah, it's The Happening is an interesting one because like I've heard so many different like opinions on it and stuff. Like we did a an M.Night episode a while ago with like Owen
Yeah.
and Doug and um the way they describe their love for The Happening. It's interesting. It's a really interesting film. I mean, like the thing is, M.Night is like there's so much conversation that can be had, which is the best thing about him as a director. Especially with my favorite, Signs,
Absolutely.
which is a great segue there for you, Harry. The
This ain't
lead
your
stuff.
first. This ain't your first podcast. I love that. Yeah,
I
we're talking
know.
science today. It's also my favorite. I think it's by far his best film. Point of nostalgia in there, of course, but we'll go into that. But before we go into that, whenever we have a guest on, Seth, we always start up a little game called the Australia Slang Showdown. So how I'm pitching it is, you guys are trying to get into the country and trying to get a green card. And
Okay.
what you need to do is pass the test, which is, and I'm the opposite. It's crazy because Ash keeps passing and then she keeps getting deported. It's crazy. Some weird things are happening over
Uh,
there, smuggling, whatever. It is what we're not going into that today. But, I've got 4 bits of Australian slang. You guys just work together. You guys can discuss, and you just got to tell me what I'm talking about, what I mean when I
what
say
it
this.
means. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
all it is. So first one is, what am I referencing when I say ranger? Ranga. Ranger.
Oranga?
Ranger, yeah.
Wow.
Use it in a sentence, like I always
Y-
ask.
Are we allowed to do that? You're allowed to use it in
Yeah.
a sentence. Okay, that makes it easier.
He's a ranger.
I mean, that's not that helpful. Like an idiot, maybe?
Oh,
It sounds negative in some sense,
it does sound derogatory.
but I feel like it's not. I feel like it's supposed to sound that way, but it's not.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. Maybe it's like, hmm, oranga.
That word provides no context to me. I
No, it really doesn't do anything for me. Uh,
knowing Australians, I want to say like does that I don't know, like he's an alcoholic or a gambler or something. I don't know.
like it, like a trying to think of the word, like a crazy guy, but in a complimentary fashion,
Right.
maybe.
Maybe. I'd be
Is
down.
that
I'd be
like?
down for that. I guess I like that.
So Ranga is short for the word orangutan,
You know,
and
oh, that
that's the derogatory term we call people with red hair.
How
I
dare you?
swear to
No, but
you,
it's just that everyone with red hair owns that name. It's like, yeah,
I
orangutans.
swear to you, I was gonna say, is it just calling someone an orangutan?
Yeah. Oh,
And I didn't say it. That's actually really annoying. I just thought that was too obvious.
that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
sometimes I feel like it is just that too. It's like a shortened
Okay.
word for something obvious, but other times it's totally something that makes no sense to me. Well, first of all, how dare you?
Hey, I don't say it. I don't say
Yeah,
it.
whatever. I guess that's like the
Oranga.
US version of people just say like ginger, and that has a derogatory nature to it. So
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Same here.
What is a tradie? Tradie. Tradie.
A bookies, like a betting shop.
Ooh.
I
That
have a
is.
feeling it's
That's like
short for something. So
Say again.
like short for something. Like tradie sounds like a nickname for
Yeah,
trading.
everything we say is short for something though
Yeah,
over here.
could it be like
like
someone who works in a trade, like a builder?
hmm,
I'm
that's
gonna
interesting.
I'm gonna butt in and say that is correct. It is a tradesman. So
Okay.
it's a nickname for like we do all different types. So bricky, all these are tradies. But a bricky
We say bricky.
is a
We say
bricklayer.
bricky.
Yep, cool. A
Yeah.
truckie, truck driver. A sparky is an electrician. A
Yep.
garbo is a garbage collector, and a chippy is a carpenter.
We don't say garbo. That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
garbo.
but don't say any
We
of that.
don't say garbage.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
have gotten that. So see, it's
I
nice having
did.
Seth because I
It's
feel like he's like a
because
middle.
it's because
Well,
of this.
I think that Australian slang and English slang it kind of interlinks at
It does.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
It does. There's like there's there, so it kind of
It's
makes
the
sense.
Commonwealth like knowledge that we have right now. So that's what we get.
I agree.
That's all
Mhm.
it
I
is.
agree.
We got two more. What's the Aussie salute? The
Like
Like we're
Aussie
supposed to tell
salute.
you, or you were supposed to tell you what that means, or
Yeah, or you
tell you.
can act
like
it out. It's nothing like what Elon does, but it's the Aussie
well, yeah,
salute.
I'd hope not. Am I doing like a salute as it? What? I
A
So now
normal
we have
unless
to.
salute
I
is
So now
oh,
that.
the charades.
You can if you like. I'll give you the point if you act it out.
I don't know what I would even guess to act it out though.
I just feel like it
I haven't
had.
even got like
Hmm.
an idea in mind of what to act out.
You just seem like a really passionate culture. So I don't know. I feel like
We
it's
are.
something
We are
That's
very
true.
passionate. We're very passionate.
about your
Very.
sports,
Okay.
and your drinking, and your gambling.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe it's just like a like Breakfast Club, like fist up to the air. I don't know.
It's very
I
possible.
got it.
Is it like the Australian version of like a hacker? Maybe you just
Oh, that's not bad.
do like a.
I like
I
that
mean, that'd be
guess,
cool.
but it's so majority of what Australia is known for is the outback, right? And when you go in the
Mhm.
Mm.
outback, there's flies everywhere. So they're just doing this is called the Aussie salute, getting the flies out of your
So you
face.
go up to someone and do that.
No, yeah, yeah. It means friend. No, I don't know. That's just like what it's known as in like the outback. Is like the
I
Aussie
see. I was
salute.
thinking it too
Mm.
literal. You're just saying that so if you like do an Aussie salute, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually representing.
That it's actually a
No,
salute.
it's just slang.
I
You
got
wouldn't like go up to someone and do that.
And final one, if you're going A over T, what does that mean? A over T. The letter A over the letter T.
Is it like something stupid like arse over tits or something?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Done. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Really,
You
that's
okay,
tumble
it.
yeah.
over. Yeah. Well done. So you got that.
Yeah, this it's just like so silly. Man,
Well,
I'm too good at that
you
almost.
are.
Yeah,
Well, you're
It's
in the
quite
country.
impressive.
You're in.
supported. You got it. You're good.
I know
You.
I'm there.
Well
I'm
done.
there
Awesome.
with my
Well.
boy Robert Whittaker and Volkanovski.
Oh, dude. Next
I'm
month.
right there.
Next month, Seth. Next month, Volk. We got this.
I
He's
know.
bringing it
I
back.
know.
He's bringing it back. It's good to have someone else that watches UFC on this podcast because whenever we're like,
We
oh,
need
what are you
to
doing
get
this
Ash
week?
watching. Start watching UFC or something.
I used to actually because my older brother was really into it, but it's been like 5 years since I've actually followed anything.
Well,
Well,
Never too late to start again.
it's
it's true.
actually kind of the perfect time to start again. It's like,
No, it's not. It's not.
no, it is. It so
It's
is.
not.
Dude,
It's
it's
not.
so entertaining now. There's like 17 different like world-class entertainment fighters.
Maybe. Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's more competitive now, mostly. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right, actually.
If you watch tomorrow and you just watch the Justin Gaethje fight, you're gonna love the sport.
Yeah, that's true.
Wish it wasn't like $70 to purchase the
Yeah, that's right.
access for
It
one of
is.
it.
Yeah, we only have to we pay for like two a year here and they're like £20.
Okay.
But like the normal like pay-per-view, we just get as part of our like TV, you know,
Really?
subscription and stuff. Yeah, so we don't pay anymore.
Yeah, see, it costs like
Like
70 or $80, I think, for the package for like the big Saturday
each
night
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
like here you have to
crazy.
remember we're watching it at like five,
Right.
6 in the morning, so it's
Yeah.
out of hours, so they can't legally charge anything. That's why.
Oh,
Are
smart.
you actually you West or East Coast? I don't actually know where
Yeah, I'm
you're
in
from.
California, so I'm west.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, like, so what time would it be on for you usually?
5 or 6 p.m. starts
Yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah. So whereas us, it's like
Yeah,
3 a.m. So, I'm not paying that time anyway, realistically.
that
Amen.
makes sense.
But yeah, Ash, get back into it.
We'll see. Maybe this might be my start.
Could you imagine, Ash,
Cool.
if you come in, you're like, "Oh, how good was Poetan?"
I don't think you know how to react.
Like, pulling out all the slang terms, that'd be crazy.
I'd love that. That'd be
So,
so good. But we are getting
yeah,
into
that'd be cool.
Signs, which of course is week 2 of our M.Night month, directed by M.Night Shyamalan. Budget of 72 million, which is huge for him. But
Wow, really? I didn't realize that was that big.
yeah, like you,
Interesting.
I wonder how much it cost to make the crop circles.
I was
I
gonna
wonder.
say that would be a lot of
True,
work.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Box office, he brought in 408 million, which is a hell of a lot of money. So great return on investment. I think this was during like when he's started to become such a blockbuster sort of director.
This is like post Sixth Sense, isn't it? I think,
Yeah,
like 2 years
yeah.
after.
Sixth Sense was late 90s. So yeah, well, yeah, perfect.
Was it late
Um,
night? Oh, my bad.
I think it was. I think it was either late
Oh, it
90s
might.
or
Was
like
it 99? I thought it was 2000 in my head for some reason.
yeah, yeah, beautiful. But like, quick synopsis is: it's not like they didn't warn us. A family living on a farm find mysterious crop circles in their fields, which suggests something more frightening to come. So, quick little review. What's your history of Signs? What do you initially think of it? Without giving your score away, you'll give it away at the end. Seth, what's your history of Signs? What do you think?
Yeah. So Signs is like I think the one I have the most kind of recollection of when it comes to M. Night's filmography. Like nowadays, I'm just a massive M. Night, fan anyway. But I think this, goes further than that. And this kind of, surpasses me just being into film. It was kind of one of the early years films for me. Similar as like a No Control Man of that era, which was kind of one of the first I really loved. Um, Signs is kind of very much, and obviously we'll get into my sort of film as well in terms of kind of the very balancing aspects of faith and kind of all that it requires in this, which is something I'm a massive fan of, and something I like to discuss quite a lot as well. And I think for me, this is, well, I'm going to try and review it without reviewing it, so to speak. There's like a rough thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah, this was definitely like kind of the first M. Night film that I uh, fell in love with, I guess, so to speak. Kind of one of the early ones I've got fondest memories of. Just to foreshadow a draft. Can I say a draft we're doing later?
yeah,
Or are you keeping that a
yeah.
secret? Okay. Foreshadow the draft we're doing later. Scariest films. We obviously mentioned when we hopped on the call. One of the scariest scenes was kind of like my first remembrance of M. Night and kind of his films, and that terrified me. But I think Signs is just a beautiful testament to the power of faith within family and kind of what you can overcome with it. Which I'm sure we'll go into. But yeah, it's kind of the first M Night I guess that I remember vividly loving anyway, and still do. I've seen many times.
Hell yeah. Ash.
Yeah, I don't have like a strong connection to it. I don't think the same way you guys do, but I definitely watched it when I was younger. I don't know that my younger self like knew like, oh, these are M. Night Shyamalan movies, but like I was really into this one and The Village specifically, probably like in more middle school. I don't think I watched this when it first came out because I was like 9. But I was watching it again this time, kind of surprised that I liked it so much when I was a kid because I was much more scared of things when I was younger. And this one's quite, there's a lot of like adult tones in this movie. So I was kind of surprised that I enjoyed it so much as a kid. But I think there's a lot of this one to me out of all his films, like certain scenes, I feel like everyone just knows them.
Oh yeah.
Like you're
Yeah,
on the couch and looking
yeah,
for the amount of like split diopter shots and just the way he films this movie, it's just so visually appealing to me. And then on top of that, I like movies about like faith and questioning your faith. Like I'm not someone who really is that way in my own life, but I really enjoy watching it in the film. I think it's really interesting. Um,
same.
I don't think I love this quite as much as you guys do, but I still think this is one of his better films. I think that it's just well acted, especially from the kids too. Everyone's bringing and delivering, and I think that the story is a really interesting way to tell like an alien invasion type story, doing it through like faith and family, because that's not something you really find often with alien related movies. So I just think it's really unique, and it's just one that I'm always gonna go back to. So I really enjoy this movie, and it was really enjoyable to rewatch as an adult because I don't think I've seen it in probably 15 years. So it's been a long
Wow.
time. And I really had a different perspective this time, but still enjoyed it.
Yeah, nice. I think I know I'm all more on Seth's side here. This is like one of the films from my childhood. This is definitely like the first M Night movie I remember watching. And then went back and watched the other ones, of course. But this is probably one of my most rewatched films of all time. I love this film. I think this film is so simple and spectacular at the same time. You guys have said this perfectly, and I'd like to reiterate your point that you made last week, Ash. What M Night does so well is he writes about family,
Mhm.
and he's got this whole story of like lost faith and lost sense of purpose about a family that's going through grief, and it's all surrounding an alien invasion, and I think that's so impressive. I love Mel Gibson in this. I think he's perfect. That dinner scene is like one of the best acted scenes I think of
Mhm.
all time.
So good.
It's so
So good.
so good, and you can feel it. And even Joaquin throughout this whole movie, Joaquin's great. Um, yeah, everything about this film I think is so sick. It just has this aura about it. When you're watching it, it's so cool, and it's got like the Jaws effect where they don't really show much of the aliens, and I think that
Right.
what's make it scarier. Because like
Mm.
you alluded to it, Seth, and we'll go through it, of course, is um, that that scene, the found footage, birthday scene of the birthday party, is one of the scariest films of all time. It was scariest scenes of all time for me.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching that as a kid, and that haunted me. And
Mhm.
Mm.
then like,
Same.
cause yeah, we're doing a draft later on about the scariest movie scenes of all time. Spoilers, but that's up there for sure. Cause and I was researching to kind of get my answers together for that draft. So many people online already bring that up. So we're like, it's just
Have you seen that meme of the well, not meme necessarily, a photo of the guy who like meets M Night and he's holding like a picture of that scene or being like, "This terrified me" or some shit.
yeah. He's like,
I
you
think
scarred my
Have, have
childhood
you
or
not seen
something,
that? Yeah, you scarred my childhood. It's
and he would
great,
have
man.
loved that.
It's like Ash was saying. I think this is like, if you look at M Night's filmography, I think Sixth Sense is probably the one he's most touted for.
Yeah,
In I think formally as a structure that kind of works best within like kind of the Hollywood space or whatever. And then obviously you got the Bruce Willis element as well. But I think this has the most like singular moments that are so renowned. Dinner table scene, the alien sequence, crop circle. Like there's so many bits in this that are just
where he sees the leg.
permanently etched into memories, especially that
Absolutely,
period.
absolutely.
oil hats.
Yeah. So,
One thing I really think is interesting too about this film, rewatching it now in like 2025, just imagining a world where this happens pre-social media, pre-cell phones being as they are now. You can't make a
yeah.
movie like this now
No,
because the
no.
fear that, I mean, people still experience chaotic, crazy things happening in this same kind of manner, but with information overload of the internet, it changes it. So I feel like this is kind of a rare film that we're never going to get anything quite like
I
it.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think that this kind of furthers the feeling of faith surrounding the film. In that it's solely powered by their faith that things will come good and everything happens for a reason, which is again to go back to what you said, Harry, about the grief. That's kind of a
Mhm.
main focus that happened for a reason, overcome it. And I think in an age with social media, if that was impacted in this, the faith wouldn't need to be as powerful as it is because they would be able to see whether, okay, this is happening there, we might be getting help here. It's almost that, it has to kind of come from within. They really and truly have to believe that, they are going to get out of this and they are going to get something from it. So yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it works contextually within that time scale so well because, they don't really have much access to what is happening outside. They just have their own livelihoods and their own family around them.
No, well
Mhm.
said. Awesome. All right, let's go through the film. I've got notes. We're going from start to end. I'll stop periodically, but if anything pops up and you want to say it, just shout out. Absolutely. Let's start off. The Hess family live on a farm in Doylestown, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We've got Graham Hess, played by Mel Gibson. He's a former priest who's lost his faith in God after his wife Colleen died in a horrific traffic accident caused by veterinarian Ray Reddy, played by M. Night Shyamalan. Additionally, Graham cannot come to terms with with his son Morgan, played by Rory Culkin. He can't come to terms with his asthma condition, which causes great suffering. No longer practicing religiously, Graham and Morgan live with Graham's daughter Beau, Abigail Breslin, who's just probably the cutest human being in existence in this film.
She's so little.
She's so little.
Yeah.
Who has a strange habit of leaving unfinished glasses of water around the house. And they also live with Graham's younger brother Merrill, played by Joaquin Phoenix, who just looks so young here. But I love him in this movie. A former minor league baseball star who never made it to the big leagues because he had a habit of swinging at whatever pitch comes his way. So fun fact here, Joaquin Phoenix replaced Mark Ruffalo, who had to pull out of the film due to a brain tumor, but it was later found to be benign. But that's always interesting. Things are fairly uneventful in Graham's life until a mysterious crop circles appear in his cornfield. Its origin and purpose are unknown. Some townspeople speculate that it's been a prank by a few of the others, which is Lionel Pritchardson and the Wolfington brothers, and it may have been created by... and think that it may have actually been created by intelligent alien life forms. Meanwhile, reports of violent animal behavior across town is being made, supported by one of the Hess dogs trying to attack Beau and Morgan. Morgan has to kill the dog with a barbecue fork, leaving him shocked and silent. So fun fact again, here, the production used new watering techniques to make the corn grow faster, which the Delaware Valley Agricultural College were very keen to adopt for themselves. And the crop circles are completely real. M. Night particularly, he's said multiple times, he particularly doesn't like using CGI, which...
He did the Nolan before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But even you just watch it and you're like, watching this film, you know those crop circles are real. You just like those like panning shots that are
so good, like the zoomed
circle.
out sort of pan shots with them. It's
So
amazing,
sick.
amazing.
So cool. As the story progresses, it becomes clear that Graham's farm is under watch. One night, he and Merrill chase a tall, dark figure who is spying on them from the roof of the barn. The mysterious being disappears in the crops, moving faster and disappearing more easily than anyone can explain. Soon, Graham and his family are shocked to learn that similar crop circles suddenly appear all over the world sorry, I wrote this to sometimes I'm terrible writing notes, in ways too quickly and too grand to be just an elaborate hoax. Morgan, the son, takes a liking to the sheriff's walkie-talkie, and she tells him that he can use a baby monitor, but it's only going to work one way. And you're like, yep, that's going to be used later on in the film. No worries.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. He finds Beau had an old baby monitor in the basement, so he uses that and decides to take it to town. On their return home, strange noises start resembling bubbles and clicking, and they all come from the baby monitor. Morgan believes it's the sound of the aliens talking, and he climbs on top of the car to get a better signal. His whole family joins in hand to hand to boost the signal, but the noise stops. And Morgan theorizes that they're communicating between two mysterious visitors. So, a fun fact here, the artwork in the book that he finds in the bookshop that's all about the extraterrestrials was done by the daughter of M. Night, which is
Oh, really? I didn't
Selika
know that at all.
Shallan, yeah. So,
Well, that's
Wow,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
They're
interesting.
really good pieces of artwork that are in there.
So you guys have got anything to add for the opening of this film? Like anything?
No, I mean, just to like
Go.
echo again what I was saying earlier, I think again, just going back to the kind of social media thing, I love and this goes for any kind of alien discovery film of this sort of era, just the speculation around it. When it comes to community speculation, it's just
Okay.
really chasing that unknown. And I think Harry, going back to what you said, it's very much a tell and don't show thing. It's one where it's like, we're almost patiently waiting for something to erupt and for something big to happen, and it's like slowly, boils over throughout the film. I just love the communal speculation. I really really enjoy that part of it for sure.
Yeah, same. I like. We will get back. We'll get into the sections where I'm about to reference, but like even just like they have no idea what it is, and he's just like, but Ray Reddy's gone to the lake. He thinks that there's something with the water. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah,
And they have like a vote of what the family should do.
Mhm.
Personally, I think get away from the crop circles, but that would be
yeah. I
just
mean, that
me.
would be the smart choice in that
Yeah,
situation, wouldn't
for
it?
sure.
You'd hope, anyway.
But that whole idea of like no one really knows what they're doing, so like the speculation of like what they should do, like there's no right or wrong answer. I think is really interesting. Yeah, Ash, anything
Yeah, I
you?
think it's a very normal human reaction. Obviously, when there's like
Yeah,
something big and new and scary happening, everyone reacts, and some people react logically, some people react emotionally. And I think each character in this movie, including like Morgan, who's a child, has their own reaction. I think he's very clearly going the extraterrestrial route immediately and wants to get the book and wants to learn about it. And he
which you
can't
would as a kid. Yeah, of course
exactly,
you
yeah.
would.
And he can be more than what, 8 or 9 years old. And then, the dad is kind of, I think, trying to take the logical approach, but he's also kind of, you can tell there's something unsettling. Like you can just tell in Mel Gibson's
Yeah,
mannerisms that he kind of feels like something more is happening, but he's trying to convince himself that it's just a very reasonable explanation. There's somebody messing with them, somebody doing this. And so it's interesting to watch him change his thought process
perceptions and
throughout the
stuff.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's
because you've
really
got
interesting.
like, sorry, Ash, you've got like a guy as well who's um, historically a religious man, and we've gone into this before, but it's kind of the way they view things, and almost him battling with his own mind and thinking, is this an existential being that's been sent by God, and that whole guilt and what doesn't deserve this, and it's kind of him battling with that and almost going, like Ash said, the more kind of logical route and trying to think that way, and kind of reacting against it. And again, we'll go on to some conversation in the future, but yeah, no, I really like that aspect for sure because everyone just reacts differently. If I was a kid, for example, I'd be all over it, as you would.
Oh yeah,
You'd have researching, you'd be excited. The dad's trying to think logically to calm people down, but also battling with his own faith at the side. So yeah, no, I really, really like the reactions for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think the sheriff is really interesting too. Like even the scene where, Meryl's talking about the running and saying
Yeah,
it's a man and she's like, well, can women like I just think it's a really interesting conversation how she brings that up and you can tell how frustrated he's getting because he's not trying to make this like it has to be a guy. He's just trying to express how fast this thing was moving. Like I'm an ex-baseball player and I couldn't even keep up. So you start
yeah,
to know that it's like they should be doubting that it could possibly be a regular human being in the town.
It was
But
very dark. It was very
yeah,
dark.
I feel like
yeah.
logically though, how can you believe something like that exists if you've never seen it with your
You
own
wouldn't
eyes? You
believe it.
wouldn't.
Yeah, it's again, it's like it's that community thing. If someone says this to another person, it's like okay, they might have seen it, but let's be honest, it probably wasn't real, and that's kind of the logical
Exactly.
explanation of it all. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed that part as well. It's really good.
Hell yeah. Well, let's continue. That evening, Graham, investigating the other dog's barking, goes into the cornfield to investigate because that's a good idea. Then he hears some unusual clicking noises. Speaking in a loud and firm tone, he tells the unseen being that there will be no publicity from stalking his farm and his family. He suddenly sees a long green leg disappearing into the cornfield, and that is when I started having heart palpitations when I was little. Startled, he sprints back to the house. Before looking back, he tells Bo, Morgan, and Meryl that they can turn on the television finally to see what's happening. Something he steadfastly objected to earlier. So
Yeah,
they turn on the news and discover that large, mysterious, unidentifiable lights have been spotted over Mexico City. So that night, Graham has a conversation with Meryl about his own faith. These little conversations between Graham and Meryl are honestly probably my favorite part of the film. They're
that
just
that's
super honest.
they're just it's the best man.
It's
Like I
so
think
good.
it's that vulnerability between the two, and the discussion they have about miracles as well.
Yeah,
I just love it's amazing. It's amazing.
so good.
It's like an acting masterclass from both of them as well.
Big time.
Um,
Absolutely.
One
truly,
thing I
truly,
wish is
really.
that Joaquin, I wish that Meryl's character did not tell a story. I wish the story was different. That like took me out of it a little bit because it was so powerful from Mel Gibson. And then he talks about how like he just avoided a girl puking in his mouth. Like, I don't know, it felt like
Yeah,
a
so
very odd story to fit in that moment. And so it like I kind of like laughed and I was like, I don't think I should be laughing in this moment, but maybe I should be because You should be silly, right? Isn't that part
It's
of the
true.
whole movie? I don't know, but it
Yeah,
just took me out of it a little bit.
I think like if you look at any of sort of M. Night's films contextually, that there are always, moments in there that again are silly to a certain extent, but
Mm.
I think you have to look at it as if you were in that situation having that conversation, it'd probably be very similar. It's kind of trying to, we're watching a film about essentially an alien invasion, but I think it's one of the most grounded films of that nature
Big time.
ever, because of the way he writes family, and the way they kind of interact together, especially those two. Yeah, I think the conversation where they're sat on the sofa just talking with them two is probably my favorite scene
Yeah,
in the whole film. I think it's
I
like
agree.
Mhm.
truly amazing. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's so good. It's revealed that Graham no longer believes in God following the accident that killed his wife. He says that there are two kinds of people: those who see signs, miracles; those who see coincidences. What kind are you? And those who see coincidences. What kind are
Yeah,
you? Merrill relates a story to where he was going to a party to kiss a girl, and the girl and was nearly vomited on, and he says that he believes in miracles.
yeah.
When Merrill asks his brother the same question, Graham just does not answer, which is so just the way that they act, where he's just like, does it even matter? Later, there is a flashback that shows Graham approaching the scene of the accident, still in his clerical suit. Um, he sees his wife pinned by a tree, and the officer tells him that the wife won't live long and is being held together basically by the truck pinning her in place, and the flashback ends. The following morning, Merrill sees startling video footage on the news of an alien that is spotted during a boy's birthday party in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Graham which that scene is just so
That's the
brilliantly
scene.
horrifying. It's so
Yeah, that's the
brilliantly
scene.
horrifying. It's so good. I showed this film for the first time to someone I know, and she'd never seen Signs before, and I was just like watching her reaction for this scene,
Yeah,
and she's
it's
like,
one of
"Oh,
them. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's so good."
Sure.
Graham
Mhm.
takes a short visit to Ray Reddy's house because he believes that Ray gave him a call, and he finds Ray blankly looking out of his car window and bleeding. Ray apologizes for the accident that occurred, tells Graham that they don't like water. And that a lot of people have gone to the lake because it seems like they don't like water. But before driving away and leaving Graham in the driveway, Ray tells him that he trapped one in his pantry. In an extended scene, Graham investigates. He takes a carving knife from the kitchen and attempts to use it as a mirror to catch the intruder's reflection from under the pantry door. When he
Such a
does,
cool shot in
it's
that movie.
so
Mhm.
So
sick.
good. So good. So
Again,
good.
you just see a little hand that's instantly way scarier than seeing an entire body. Like,
Just the big reveal.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's similar to what like much of the Alien franchise has done so well, especially the
Yeah.
first Alien. So similar where throughout the film we get like small sightings and notions and noises, and then we get a small reveal towards the end, and obviously
absolutely.
what you'll go on to now. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So yeah, he takes the carving knife, attempts to use it as a mirror to catch the intruder's inflection under the pantry door. But when he does so, the fingers that are not human try to claw at him from a hand from the other side. Startled, Graham uses the knife to cut off two of the fingers and quickly departs. Graham returns home and like I love it when he comes home. It's like when he enters the house after like the cornfield after seeing the Lego after this, and he's just blank face. He's just like, okay, guys, we got to do something. Like he's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he has no idea what to do.
Mhm.
Grant returns home and proposes to his family two options: go to the lake in hope that aliens do not like water, or stay home. After the family vote, in which Graham says that his vote counts for two on behalf of his dead wife, the family decide to stay home and they board up the doors and windows. While Graham and Merrill do so, Morgan and Bo watch the news and find out that mysterious airborne lights are now visible over approximately 274 cities worldwide, appearing within a mile of crop signs as well. And the appearances are growing rapidly. But before the family finishes boarding up the house, they decide to have one last full family meal, choosing their favorite foods, which for me would be probably chicken schnitzel or dumplings. In an emotional scene,
Dumplings.
I love
Interesting.
dumplings. I love dumplings.
Fair, fair.
With tiramisu. In an emotional scene, Graham holds all his children and brother while they all cry, realizing how much the death of Colleen has affected them and how scared they truly are. Suddenly, the baby monitor starts making the familiar, mysterious noises, and Graham checks the TV and sees that no one is broadcasting at all anymore. So, fun fact here is the dramatic dinner table scene that was filmed in 3 hours. Done. One day, done. That is so impressive.
Interesting.
That's so
That is
impressive.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anything to add here before we get into the last part of the film?
Yeah. I mean that bit makes me cry when I'm at the dinner table.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
that
very
bit,
emotional
and
moment.
when like the last bit where he's trying to ease Morgan's
Morgan.
asthma,
I was
when
gonna
he's
say
like,
the
"I
Morgans.
hate you," like that, where he's talking to God, I think is so good. I hate
It's
you.
really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one thing I really love about Mel Gibson's performance is that I feel like, I mean, I'm not a parent, but I feel like he captures the essence of the fear that I'm sure a parent feel like he's going through his own grief and his like faith being questioned, but he's also a parent who's
Yep.
now alone in his
Yeah.
parenthood and he has to try to protect his children. It's like that balance of protecting them from the truth, but also that can also have consequence. Like they also kind of deserve to
Yeah.
know what's going on, but they're so young. So it's like he's trying to come home after he just literally cut off two alien fingers, doesn't know what he's dealing with, and he just has to try to remain calm and figure out a plan while he's still grieving his dead wife, while he's still grieving his faith. There's just so much like that character is going
True.
through, and he portrays it so perfectly. I'm not really a
Yeah.
huge fan of him as an actor, but I feel like this movie is one where he just nails it completely across the board.
I agree, actually. I'm not like that big a Mel Gibson fan. Then when as soon as I watch Signs, I'm like, man, this is really, really great.
Mm.
I'm a
No,
fan
I
of
for
him as
sure.
a director.
Full spectrum.
Big fan of him as a director,
I'm not either.
I'm not really
particularly,
either.
specifically Flight Risk. I think that's his magnum.
I
That's his
haven't
Get
magnum
seen.
out of
opus.
here.
I haven't seen Flight. I just do not think I'm going to watch that film ever. To be
Yeah,
honest with
that's
you,
fair enough.
not for me.
That's very fair enough. No, that's yeah, fair enough. Well, let's get into it. They then board up the last doors and windows and go into the living room, waiting for the aliens just to arrive. And then they realize they forgot the dog. Lol. Their dog, who's accidentally left outside, begins to bark alarmingly, but is quickly silenced with the yelp. Soon after, something can be heard climbing onto the roof and breaking into the attic. When Meryl realizes that no one boarded up um, the attic access in the ceiling, so the family retreats to the basement. There's a good deleted scene here though, that you see Meryl kind of just holding up the
I
attic
think
door
I've seen that.
while
Yeah,
it's being
yeah,
like pushed
yeah,
down, and it's just
yeah.
like they're like still comforting the children while like they're like moving like a cabinet to be under it. It's really cool. I wish they had that in there. I thought that was really cool. The intruders soon find the basement door and try to break in. They need something to brace the door, so Meryl grabs a mattock or a I don't know what's a mattock? Like
Max.
an axe, yeah. Like I don't know what you call them in America. Accidentally smashing the lantern there. When they find a flashlight, Graham sees that Morgan is standing near an old coal chute. Suddenly, an alien hand grabs Morgan there, where he was already hanging out the coal chute. Merrill covers the chute with large bags of dog food. When he looks back at his brother, he sees them distressingly cradling Morgan, who's having a full blown asthma attack and is without his inhaler. Graham curses his God and his faith for letting Morgan suffer needlessly while Meryl and his daughter watch. They eventually decide to save the batteries of the flashlight and turn them off. The family hide in the basement until morning, Graham desperately coaching his son to breathe all night during the asthma attack. They hear on the radio that a method of finding out the invaders has been developed and they are now retreating. That's like the one part you're like, really? They're like, guys, we got them. It's all good. Everyone leave their house. We're all good now. Um, Even leaving behind their wounded, which is they make that really evident. Which you're like, oh, okay, that might take place in about 2 minutes. Graham decides that they should all venture up from the basement for medicine to treat Morgan. Seeing that there is no signal coming from the walkie-talkie, Graham and his family head upstairs. Meryl tells Graham that there were reports of people battling back against the invaders and that some humans have been killed when the invaders sprayed a poisonous gas. Merrill tells Graham that he's never seen his brother lose faith and looked as scared as he did in the basement. Suddenly and unexpectedly, they come face to face with an alien for the first time, and it grabs Morgan before anyone can react. It holds him hostage and extends a spiny tube from its wrist, spraying Morgan with the poisonous gas. The remainder of Graham's flashbacks to Colleen's death is revealed. She's coherent as she dies and tells Graham that she loves him, to look after their children, and to tell Meryl to swing away, referring to his love of baseball. So fun fact here, M.Night Shyamalan wanted Mel Gibson to play this role because he's the quote, the guy you believe would protect his family at all cost. I'm like, absolutely. So
Yeah,
back
for
in the
sure.
present, Graham spots Meryl's trophy baseball bat on the wall and tells Meryl to swing away. Meryl kindly just takes the bat and just starts attacking that alien, which drops Morgan, but has already sprayed him. So Meryl quickly realizes that the water is deadly to aliens and uses the unfinished glasses of Bo's water all over the house and that she's left all over the house to defeat the alien, while Graham takes Morgan outside to administer the asthma medication. Because Graham very much keeps believing, he goes, the air didn't get into the lungs, your lungs were closed, the air didn't get to your lungs. Morgan soon recovers his asthma attack, having prevented him from inhaling the alien's gas. So in a way, everything kind of made him believe in God again, because
everything happens for a reason.
Bose kept having this weird thing about water. It was needed to happen, tell Meryl to swing away, and asthma at first seemed like he was suffering needlessly, but it all leads up to a point where he gets saved. So realizing that Colleen's darling words meant something after all, and they were actually used to save his remaining family's life, Graham's faith is restored. So the final scene shows winter weather outside as Graham is back in his clerical suit preparing for mass. So that is Signs. I love this film. I give this film 5 stars. I think this film is spectacular. It's so simple. It shows just what it needs to show, and keeps you just wanting more. And I think it just has so much aura. So Seth, what do you think of Signs?
Yeah.
What do you think of anything that I said in the last, if you have anything else to add, of course?
Yeah, I mean, like the ending, pretty much what you said. I think it ties things together so well in terms of their faith, and you really, it does tie together. You realize that everything kind of happened for a reason, and his wife's death wasn't, in vain, so to speak, in that she gave them the sign in order to conquer it and get out and whatever. I think that any film like this is always fascinating for me. Similar to what Ash said, like religion isn't in my life, but I find it so interesting when you're looking at people who are in dire straits and dire circumstances, and they can just know the kind of God for them, whoever that is there kind of watching over them and have that faith to keep on going. I found really fascinating and also admirable as well. And I think any film that tackles that in such a beautiful way, like Signs does, with its real commitment to showcase a family dealing with it, a family with different dynamics as well, completely different dynamics and completely different personalities across the board, especially obviously Meryl and Morgan. But yeah, Signs is a 5 for me. I love it. It's my favorite M.Night. One of 2 M.Night 5 stars, along with one you need to review, Unbreakable.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I love it. I think Signs is amazing. Love it.
Hell yeah.
I think you guys end on me because I don't give it 5 stars, but I give it 4 stars. So
that's high.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also it sounds like there's a delivery driver outside of my house right now. So if I go on mute suddenly, it's just because Scooter's barking. Yeah, no, I think this film is fascinating. I think it looks amazing. I watched a 4K restored copy and it just looks so good. I love everything about the way it looks. And yeah, I agree. I think that in like the Jaws recipe or the Alien recipe, just this idea of it's not really about the thing. It's not like a horror film where we're focused on the aliens. It's more about the fear around it, what that does to people, what it makes you question, how it makes you react, and the closeness that the family has to kind of experience to get through this. And yeah, I think the ending is absolutely fascinating, the way they decided to go with it, and that moment where Morgan is kind of, is this going to be it? Like, is God going to take another person from my life and I'm going to have to grieve again? But then it's like everything worked out. Everything that was supposed to happen happened. And I think there's a sense of control that he has to kind of give up there, where sometimes things do just work out, and it kind of, again, restored his faith. So I think it's a really powerful message, not one that I can personally relate to, but I, again, like Seth said, find it fascinating to just watch people going through that battle internally. So yeah, this is a great film. I'm excited to rewatch it again more since I hadn't seen it in a long time. I'm think I'm going to try to rewatch it, maybe every 5 years or so, just because I find it to be so powerful and well acted. And I think Rory Culkin should be in more things.
Dude, the Culkin family, The Culkin family are talented.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many of them. I was like Googling it because I thought it was just the 3. They're endless.
Yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, they're like the American Skarsgårds,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, quite the comparison.
Little clan.
Yeah, it's very special. I think M.Night he has his own style, and I think he's very consistent for the most part. And I really applaud him for having these like passion projects, and this feels like one of them that feels very much like him. not just like one of the movies he made kind of later to sort of, you know, not get a
Which
PR,
ones?
but you can tell
Which ones
that weren't like
don't you like, Ash?
I don't like I don't think I've seen After Earth. I've been never gonna watch it, but I
That's,
don't like
I
The
feel like
Happening.
After Earth wasn't him, right? Like there was a
No,
director for
I don't
hire and
think
a
it was.
like he's
Uh,
technically the director on it, but there's stories from behind the scenes that it was Will Smith that directed it, and he took that money and made Visit.
I'm not sure about that. I've never
I
seen
don't
it.
love
It
After
doesn't
Earth.
really intrigue me. I'm not a huge Will Smith or Jaden Smith fan, but I don't
Shook
like The
Smith.
Happening. I don't like The Last Airbender. Um,
Don't say old.
I'm not a massive fan of Old. No, I need to rewatch it. I've only seen it one time, and
I
it really
love
did not work for me.
I love old like I wouldn't say old's in my top of M.Night, but I love old's twist. I think old's twist is one of the best of like
Yeah, it's cool.
the beach is used for. I think is
Yeah.
genius. It's like
Outside of those, though, I really like everything else he's done.
yeah, he's so
Honestly.
entertaining. He's so entertaining. Like love him or hate him, no one can deny that when a movie of M Night's coming out, it's an event. Like it's so
Right.
much fun. Like when
Yeah.
Knock at the Cabin was coming out and no one knew what the hell that was about. Oh, I thought it was great.
Well, outside of the book readers,
Us out of the
they,
book
they
readers.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, actually, even that it changed the ending. I think quite a bit actually, with Knock on
Yeah.
the Cabin anyway.
Yeah, they did.
Made it his own.
I think that
That's
one,
what
the
it does.
problem that I had was that I saw a trailer, like right before I saw it, was like a week before I saw a trailer that showed like part of the apocalypse version of what was going to happen. Like it showed it in the trailer. And I wish I didn't know that going
that
in. So I
sucks.
just avoid movie trailers
Yes.
and
Yeah, trailers are kind of like unless you do a podcast, which is kind of hard or like content because then
I'm
you
sure.
just speak
Yeah,
about them.
Yeah.
They are. I think a lot of the time now trailers do kind of ruin certain scenes.
absolutely.
Yeah. I was talking
Yeah.
to quick side story because we'll go straight into our game. I was talking to one of my main clients for work is Universal Pictures of Warner Brothers, and the main client at that Warner Brothers. I was talking to him after I saw the Mickey 17 premiere, and it was the first time I saw the
Yeah.
trailer for Superman. It was before that. Because I didn't watch the trailer for it, and I told him I was like, "Yeah, man, the trailer's brilliant. Like, it was the best way to watch it the first time is on IMAX." He goes, "You never saw it?" I'm like, "I don't watch trailers. Like, it gives away way too much nowadays." And he's like getting angry at me, and I was like, "Dude, I watch every movie. You don't have to sell me on anything." I'm like, "I'm not watching
Yeah.
trailers."
Yeah.
I think it's more for the general public. I don't think
Yeah,
our
for sure.
community of people has to really be too sold on watching new things.
I just
No,
they give
for
away a
sure.
bit too much. But to finish off with science, M Night Shyamalan didn't originally call this film science. It was originally when he wrote the script, it was called The Alien Bulletin. And then
Signs is better.
Way
then
better.
it changed to Visitors, which is way better than Alien Bulletin, but then Signs is perfect. So it changed.
Yeah, it makes the most sense for sure.
Awesome. So before we finish off, we're going into a little film draft. As we've alluded to, where this film has one of the scariest scenes in film for a lot of people, including me and I think you, Seth, as well. So we're just going through just very simple, the most scary movie scenes in movies. Where only rule is once a film is drafted, we can't pick any more scenes from that
Yeah,
film. But yep, 5 rounds. I did random name generator while you guys are talking, and it's Ash you have first, then it's Seth, and then it's myself. And then it's normal snake draft. This ain't your first draft, Seth.
Yeah.
You understand how
Not my
this
first
goes.
rodeo, no. for sure.
You know how this goes. But Ash, what would you say is your number one?
Oh man,
I
it's
feel
so
like there
hard.
is a number one pick.
Is there?
I feel.
I think scary is so subjective to, every person. There's not like a one that's jumping out at me as the first, but
No, so
one that I've never drafted this movie at all. So one that I want to take because I want this movie associated with my draft is Hereditary. There's a couple, but the one that scares me the most is when I think is it Toni Collette who's on the ceiling?
on the ceiling. Yeah. That's a
on the
cool one.
ceiling, yeah.
That's a cool one.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was in my
That's a
notes.
good one.
Yep. Annie on the ceiling, Hereditary. Well done.
Annie, yes. I was like, what is her name?
Yep. Nice. Seth, what would your number one be?
I'm like doing this directly off the cuff. I've not prepared at all. But yeah, I'll go. I've got a few in my mind. The one that I think now it is a bit shit at me because it's a very much a jump scare, but one that's done very well in my
No,
opinion.
don't do it to me. Go on.
What's it from?
Sinister?
No, I don't like Sinister.
Okay, good.
So you're fine. All good. Mine is so it's in The Conjuring, the first one.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the one. It's the clap. It's the
Yeah.
one where she's on the stairs at the top and like puts the match on, and then he claps
Great.
behind her. When I first watched that, like it really fucking terrified me.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really
Jump
good
out
one.
my skin. Yeah, that was very scary.
That
That
movie
was
is really scary.
that is
It is.
it
It's one of
is.
those like I think there's so many like attempted dupes of like that, the first Insidious and the first Conjuring. I watched The Conjuring back now and like this is actually a really good film, which is
Mhm.
obvious, but sometimes you watch these horrors back and you're like, man, this is like not great.
It's
But The
kind of
Conjuring remains. It's really good. It's really, really good. For sure.
Amen. That's on my
sorry, you
notes as
can
well.
take Sinister from me, even though it's one of my favorite horror films
I
ever.
thought you should. Well, Hereditary is one of my favorite horror
I've
films.
drafted that scene before. I think we might have done a draft like this before, and I think I've drafted
I
it.
think we
So
did jump scares, best jump scares or
I think we
something.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, lawn work in Sinister
Yeah.
I think is genius.
That is a good scene. Yeah, yeah.
So lawn work definitely. I love that. I love that movie, man. I got to interview oh my god, what's his name? Scott Derrickson. Before when he was doing press tour for the
Black Phone?
Black Phone, yep.
Yeah.
And the whole interview was just talking about lawn work. And he's just like how he got it created and stuff. He's just like, I honestly didn't think it was gonna be that scary. And I was like,
Really?
you're fucking nuts.
That whole movie came from a dream, I think, that he had.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it
saw
was.
that. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Just it's so impressive. Damn, I was gonna do Conjuring next. Well done. Um, well, one to me that I find is so unsettling and it's really recent. I watched it once and I probably will never watch this movie again, but it's brilliant. The dog attack in When Evil Lurks.
I haven't seen that.
Wow, that's interesting. I like that pick. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I think that one scene is it gives me just the heebie-jeebies, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty scarring. It's pretty scarring. Yeah.
It's so scary. I hate it. Seth, number 2. I don't hate it. I love it. That's why I pick it.
I think this one will come back to me. So I'll go with. There's a scene in It Follows
Oh, fuck.
Damn it.
where
Is it the tall
where the
man?
tall man
Yeah.
walks in.
Yeah.
When I first watched that, I was like, that is terrifying.
Scary.
I don't know why it's so simple.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
just a
good.
tall guy, but like, I think that film has such a weird way of approaching horror and just having this like entity that could be anyone at any time.
Yep.
Like any of the sequences in that film where they're just slowly walking, terrifying.
Yep.
But that one especially, the tall man scene, very scary.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
scary.
Good.
That was my next pick. Okay.
Sorry.
That was
No,
my
it's okay.
notes.
I
See, I
love that.
said I knew that one wouldn't come back to me, so I'd say I couldn't save it.
Very
Sure.
smart. Okay. I feel like I need to take something from The Thing. I know this isn't like, it doesn't scare me anymore, but the first time I saw it, like the blood testing scene scared the shit out of me. It's
It's so
like
tense, isn't it?
No, I get that.
different kind of
Yeah.
scary than what we're talking about with most of these movies, but I really, really love that scene.
That makes sense.
And then
Ooh,
I
really
think
hope this-
next I'll take another film I've never drafted before, but have you seen Wreck, Harry?
Yeah, fuck.
When she gets dragged away,
Yeah.
Yeah, Wreck is
That movie is
terrifying.
terrifying. The whole thing really could be drafted for this, but I'll go with at the end when she gets dragged away.
God
Wreck is
damn it. I
terrifying.
thought I was going to nail that. I got one that's going to be my late 5th, I think. Seth, what's your...
Where am I going next? Have either of you guys seen Pulse?
Fuck! Yeah.
I think I've seen the remake, weirdly enough.
Oh, don't
Not
watch that.
It's when
Watch
she's...
the original. So
Okay.
Kiyoshi Kurosawa is like the goat of horror.
When she's like
And
dancing
there's a
towards,
scene.
right?
Yeah, so there's a scene in Pulse where he's like hid behind like a cabin or whatever, and she's like, there's a woman like dancing towards him through this like really dark lit corridor, and they hired basically a professional dancer to do it, and and her head stays in like, the same place as she dances towards her, and then her face like pops up over. Terrifying.
Yeah, it's
Like
horrifying.
really, really fucking scary.
I
Yeah,
thought I'd
yeah.
be able to get that. Damn. Good pick.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to put this in here because I love James Wan. The lipstick demon appearing behind Patrick Wilson's head, I think, in Insidious.
That's a classic. That is a classic. Yeah.
Lipstick demon. Okay. Well, I like how you went, Ash, with the blood testing scene, how it's super tense. I'm going to go that as well. The basement scene in Zodiac is
Yes.
just so tense.
That is tense. I agree. Very.
Nice.
I'm putting all my chips into that no one picks my last pick. I'm really hoping.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same as you both had. Maybe not like directly scary in a sense. Lost Highway. It wouldn't be
Nice.
me with a Lost Highway
Mhm.
pick, obviously. Have you both seen Lost Highway?
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
both watched it for our prior little watch list book club we did.
Wait for
Oh, okay,
TikTok.
cool,
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah. So the sequence where he first meets the mystery man at that party in the house, I think that's so fucking creepy in like
Mhm.
every way. Just that interaction when like he's like Yuri speaking to me and his phone rings, terrifying.
Yeah.
Scary, 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 scary.
That
Yeah.
movie is really good.
I watched Mulholland Drive for the first time 2 weeks ago. Seth.
Don't you fucking dare take that scene, Harry.
I won't know.
Don't you dare take
All
that
right.
scene from
Oh,
Mulholland
well,
Drive.
that's a really good. I didn't even think of that.
It
But
is
no,
a
no,
really good one,
it's
and
not
that was
even
my
my
next
turn.
pick.
But it's not even my turn. But that movie's fucking amazing.
There's a couple David Lynch scenes I could think of that are pretty. Even Blue Velvet, I feel like,
For
is
sure. Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
pretty tense, terrifying scenes.
Anything with Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet is scary because that man is like out of
Insane.
it. He's terrifying for
Absolutely
sure.
insane.
Nice. Ash,
Okay.
your final two.
My final two picks.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Okay. One that I think that it is scary in the sense of like the way it feels so ingrained in reality and like what it means for the characters. You don't see everything happen, but Gordy and Nope, that
Nice.
whole scene
No,
is
that makes sense. Yeah.
it's not scary in the traditional sense, but
No, but you can mix it up. It's a great scene. So I get it. Get it.
we do so many, I feel like horror film drafts that I don't want to just do a bunch of traditional scare.
Mm.
My little might be controversial. Nope is Jordan Peele's best film.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I said it was his worst, and then I rewatched it, and I now think it's his best. It's interesting.
That's happening to a lot of people, I feel like, with Nope.
It has,
Specifically.
yeah. I don't know why. I think it's just one of those where it's like requires another watch down the line.
For
You know,
sure. It's so good. Jean Jacket.
it is really fucking good. It's so
What
good.
a monster.
Okay, and then
Mm.
my final pick, I'm gonna go with my favorite horror film, Nightmare on Elm Street. Tina being dragged across the ceiling. I think it's absolutely terrifying. I think it's one of the best kills in any of those movies.
Yeah.
Here's a question, Ash. What's your opinion on Dream Warriors? Dream Warriors? Dream Warrior.
I
Warriors.
love Dream Warriors. I think
I
it's
watched it first time recently. It's so good.
so good.
I really, really had like a great time with it.
Puppet
Some of the
Master.
sequences of that are crazy.
It's
Yeah, and
it's literally Wes Craven just like having so much fun. Like it's so unserious compared to the first one and the second one even. So much fun.
so good. Yeah, I need to watch that again soon, actually. Is it Mario?
It is your final pick, Seth.
Oh,
But
so
what
you
do
can't take it
I
anyway.
can't take it. No, that's why I completely forgot about it. And then you're
right, okay.
yeah.
It's the homeless woman from Mulholland Drive
Yep.
in the diner scene.
Mhm.
Terrifying, scary shit.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't even have that down, but I should have. That's a great
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I only like realized it just now actually when I was looking for films.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm kind of like because this is kind of like I was going to take this fifth round pick, and it's Australian made, so I'm happy. The cell phone footage scene in Lake Mungo. So if you haven't seen Lake Mungo,
That's a very good pick.
dude, Lake Mungo fucks so hard. Ash, have
Do
you
you know
seen
what
Lake Mungo?
scene?
Oh, it's so good.
Do you know what I
good.
thought you were going to say when you said Australian film?
Babadook.
No, what's the Outback film? The
Oh,
Oh,
one
Wolf
about
Creek.
the
Wolf Creek.
no. It's 1971.
Wake
The
and
one
Fright.
Wake and Fright.
Yes, Waking Fright. I think you're gonna say well, like the what's it called the kangaroo scene in that is
Kangaroo
horrible. That could
scenes.
be defined as scary.
Traumatized me.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a really good film, by the way.
We did
Yeah,
it on the
kind of
pod
like.
actually last
Yeah,
summer.
Did you? Okay,
We
that's
did
really good
a
film.
month of what we call month of
Sweat.
sweat. So we
Yeah.
just where the characters are super sweaty, and we're like, oh, we're gonna do Wake and Fright then.
That is a very sweaty film.
It's a very sweaty film.
Very sweaty film.
Have you seen
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trailer for the Surfer with Nicolas Cage? It literally looks like Wake and Fright with Nicolas Cage.
No,
Yeah, watch up that trailer after. Absolutely. But just to
I've
recap,
heard this one.
most scariest scenes. Ash took Annie on the ceiling from Hereditary, the blood testing scene from The Thing, where she gets dragged away at the end of Wreck. Gordy's scene in Nope, and Tina being dragged across the ceiling in Nightmare on Elm Street. Seth's film reviews took Hide and Clap from The Conjuring. The tall man appears and It Follows. The woman dancing towards the camera in Pulse. Mysterious man first appearing in Lost Highway. And the homeless woman scene in Mulholland Drive. Me, myself, Harry, Has Daddy 101, took the lawn work from Sinister. The dog attack from When Evil Lurks. The lipstick demon appearing in Insidious. The basement scene in Zodiac. And the cell phone footage scene in Lake Mungo. Oh, what a scene. I love that movie so much. Ash, you need to watch it.
It's a really good film. It's a really good film.
It's a mockumentary about a ghost.
Okay.
It's really good. It's really
so
good.
creepy and haunting. It's awesome. But that is the end of the podcast. That is our podcast for science. Seth, thank you once again for coming on. We'll definitely have you on for more. This was great. We'll have all your links in the description. I would say that, like, go follow Seth, but hey, if you follow us, you follow Seth. So
It's not true. It's not true.
You definitely
But yeah,
do.
follow me on Letterboxd, Seth's Reviews.
Absolutely.
That's the most important of all the bunch, is it not?
We'll have that link in the description as well. We'll have your
Why, thank
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Letterboxd. So absolutely go follow him. But for next week, please watch The Village, right, Ash? I'm not fucking that up. Cool. Thank you. I fuck it up a lot. So if this podcast is nothing,
I
if
fuck
Ash
it up as well. Don't worry, mate.
This podcast is nothing if Ash doesn't keep me in check.
Ash is like your Tyler. That's kind of what
yeah, it really is. Yeah,
In the
that's the
background.
dynamic you got. Yeah, that's it.
wholeheartedly. But yeah, we can't wait. But thank you again, Seth. It was good fun. Have you on next time. But I'm Harry. That's Ash. That's Seth. Love Death Movies. We'll see you at the movies.